You know that feeling, right? You learn a new phrase in English. You practice it, you nail the grammar, but when you say it out loud, it just sounds off, a little bit stiff. Well, guess what? You're not alone. Today, we're going to fix that. We're going to uncover the two biggest secrets that'll make you sound less like a textbook and way more like a native speaker.
So let's get right to it. Do you ever feel like you sound like a robot? You might say something like, I am happy to be here. And yeah, the grammar is perfect, but it sounds kind of clunky, right? It's a super common problem, but what if I told you the fix is way simpler than you think? Just look at this. On one side, we have the robot speech, I am happy. And on the other, human speech, I'm happy. Can you just hear the difference? That one tiny little change, that shortcut, is your first big step away from sounding robotic and towards sounding completely natural. And that brings us to the first major rule. We're talking about contractions. Seriously, think of these as the magic glue of conversational English. This is your first and probably easiest step to sounding human.
So here's the rule, plain and simple. In spoken English, you just gotta stick the words together. Native speakers do this almost all the time. Instead of saying you are, we say you're. Instead of it is, it's just it's. It's a really simple habit that will instantly, and I mean instantly, make your speech flow better.
And you can see this pattern with pretty much any subject. He is becomes he's. But check out the negative column. This is kind of cool. You often get two correct options. You can say he's not funny, or you can say he isn't funny. Both are 100% natural. People use them all the time.
Okay, so using contractions. That's a huge step forward for sure. But if you really want to transform your speech, you need the next piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this is the big one. We're talking about sentence stress.
So what even is stress? It sounds complicated, but it's not. It's just the one word in a sentence that gets the most energy. You say it a little louder, a little stronger. It's how we tell the listener, hey, pay attention. This is the important part.
And here's the real secret. The rules for where you put that stress, they change. It all depends on whether your sentence is positive or negative. But don't worry, there are only two simple rules to remember, and they're basically total opposites.
All right, rule number one. In a positive sentence, the verb to be, is, are, am, is weak. It's quiet. We say it super fast. Why? Because the most important part of the sentence, the new information, is what comes after the verb. That's the star of the show. For example, you wouldn't say, she's happy. No. You'd say, she's happy. See how all the energy is on happy? That's the key information. The she's part is just there to connect things, so it's quick and quiet. Let's try another one. We don't say, they're late. It just sounds weird. We say, they're late. The verb, there, is weak. The important information, late, is strong. You hear that rhythm? Now, get ready to flip everything on its head for rule number two. When a sentence is negative, that negative word, like not or the little ent in a contraction, becomes the most important word in the entire sentence. Why? Because it completely changes the meaning. So, it gets all the stress. Okay, remember our first example? She's happy. Now listen to what happens when we make it negative. She isn't happy. Boom! All that energy just jumped right over to isn't, because that's the word that flips the entire meaning. And here's one more. You would never say, I'm not a doctor. The most critical piece of information here is the not, so you gotta stress it. I'm not a doctor. All right, you've got the rules. You've got the theory. Now it's time to actually put this stuff to the test. Let's see if we can train your ear to hear this natural rhythm.
Okay, listen up. Here's the sentence. He's hungry. Now, first thing, is that sentence positive or negative? Okay, so based on our rules, where should that stress land?
You got it, of course. The stress is on hungry. It's a positive sentence, so we stress the key piece of information, not that weak little verb. He's hungry. Perfect. Now for the flip side. How would you say this sentence naturally? He isn't hungry. Think about it. Where does all the energy go now? Exactly. Since it's negative, the stress jumps right onto that negative word. He isn't hungry. It's that simple little dance between the two rules that creates the natural music of English. So the big secret here isn't about memorizing thousands of new vocabulary words. Not at all. It's about getting these simple rules of rhythm so deep into your brain that they just become a habit. Let's just boil it all down to a simple game plan. 3 steps. That's it. 1. Always, and I mean always, use contractions when you speak.
just do it. 2. If you're saying something positive, stress the main information, not the verb. And 3. If it's negative, you guessed it, stress the negative. Simple.
These two skills, mastering contractions and understanding sentence stress, are literally the foundation of sounding natural in English. So the only real question left is, now that you know the secret, are you ready to start practicing and leave that robot voice behind for good?